I don't got no friends. I don't got no friends. You know what I mean? I got supporters, people on my side and people on the other side.
Welcome to the shift where the whole room glows. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. Tissue flat, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yo, shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. This that channel that be talking back, energy attack. Iron sharpens iron, watch the holy react. Competition in the building, better tighten up your facts. We ain't clones, but we still mirror how you crack under impact. Every debate will work out, spot a weak, rap fast. You live wrong, paradigm shift and break your stance. I'm the judge, the jury, the pen, the contrast. My bars hit always like the quadruple, bottom to the shift where the whole room glow. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't all align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. We invite every mind, long as you stand on yours. Walking with respect, leave with open doors. Channel stay lit, views jumping off the boards. STL bounce, yeah, the spot from the source. Competitors, welcome, step up, don't fold. We don't fit pressure, we refine under load. Thoughts heavy, we press them till the truth gets told. Shift so clean, it feel platinum, even willing to go. Come through correct, bring your logic and your proof. Speak your truth, just don't run from the truth. We debate with grace, that's the paradigm groove. Flow so smooth, even turbulence move. Welcome to the shift where the whole room go. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Where the whole glow. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' go. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love light. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibes got the city on go. Welcome to the shift. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. Welcome to the shift. If you black, I'm with you, black, I'm with you. Welcome to the shift. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. Welcome to the shift. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibe got the city on low. Walk with paradigm shift, keep it real for.
Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you black, I'm with you. And I hope that you with me.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Watching Gift TV.
Paradigm shift. TV 314. We ain't just making content. We moving culture.
The shift don't stop.
Let's go.
The shift don't stop. We keep the truth on lock. Building every day, we ain't watching no clock. Knowledge over noise, let the whole world watch.
Paradigm Shift TV.
The shift don't stop.
The shift don't stop. Turning every microphone to a star. From the city to low, know exactly who we are. Paradigm Shift TV.
We taking it far.
Welcome to the movement where the facts get tested. Weak arguments fall when the pressure gets invested. Every conversation sharpen minds like a weapon. Building independent thinkers every single lesson. The infamous perspective. Speaking from the soul. Question every narrative. Never lose control. The GT. Planting seeds of wisdom now to wake the sleepers.
Step let illuminate.
When the facts demonstrate.
Files, history reclaims.
Separating faith from traditions that were framed.
The shift don't stop, we keep the truth.
The shift don't stop. Listen, family, we still waiting on the champ, Mandika Molly. I don't know if he gonna forfeit, and we're going to have a new Paradigm Shift TV 314 champion. But we're going to wait on the brother, man. Hopefully he all right. Ain't heard from him, called him, sent him the link to his phone and to his messenger. Hopefully he going to pop in. But let's talk to the eye smiter. Listen, man, JJ said he going to smite your eye, bro. 2 questions. The first one is this. This your first debate.
Yes, sir.
You going against a legendary debater, the founder of the Lion's Den Debate League. Multiple debates on his platform, on other people's platform, including the House of Consciousness. Can you win, Jose? Can you win?
Yeah, man, of course. Of course. I got my ducks in a row. I know what I'm talking about. I got my plan in gear, so I know I could win the debate. I'm very sure about that. But I want to actually face him in the debate. I want to face him in the debate. I want him to come in, show his sources. We have a nice, clean debate, and we see who wins. But once it's said and done,
ask you this.
yes.
Go ahead.
Once this is said and done, he got to put some respect on my name because I went up against the champ, and a lot of people didn't do that. I didn't call the man no names. We going in a nice, clean debate, so they got to put some respect on my name, and hopefully it will just get better and better from there. I would love for this to be my first win. This will look so nice on my resume, and if I win this, you'll never hear the end of this, As long as I hold that belt, I can say I got it from the green.
Let me ask you this, because this is really going to be the tail of the tape.
Yes, sir.
Let's say JJ don't show up. Let's say he forfeit his title. Are you ready to be the Paradigm Shift TV 314 champion?
I'm going to have to be, right? When you step in there, you're going to have to understand when you have that belt, people go want it. So you're going to have to be ready to defend it. You're going to have to be ready to make it.
Are you ready to make it? Now, I don't know with you because, you my man, you part of the team. Are you ready to make $100 per debate? Hold on, man. Mandika calling me. Hold on. Mandika Molly say you ain't getting out of this, man. He running a little late. Give him 10 minutes. He say you ain't getting out of this, though.
Well, I ain't going nowhere. I didn't say I was running. We waited on him. I'm here. So that tells you all you need to know. And I was here on time.
I caught that shot. I caught that shot, bro. But let me ask you, man. If you become champ, man, I mean, you make $100 per debate. Will you be keeping that $100, or you gonna donate it back to the platform?
That's a good question.
No pressure.
No, that's a good question because I'm not even in the States, so I don't even know if I could even receive the $100. So that's a whole different
I mean,
story.
if you got Zelle or Venmo, I can get it to you.
Nah, but yeah, but I'm not in the States though, and that's the problem. I have Cash App, but I don't know if the Cash App is actually functioning. And what I think that
I
I
don't
should
have
do,
Cash App. I don't have Cash App, so I wouldn't be able to do it that way anyway.
yeah, and Venmo, you have to have a US number, which I don't have. What I think I
Oh,
would do
really?
with it, what I think the smart thing to do would be let you hold on to it. Maybe I could kick back half of that to the debate league and actually you save those funds and actually buy some equipment as opposed to just taking it and doing nothing with it. So if you can't get it to me, you could keep 50 and then hold 50, then reach a certain level. I could buy some mics and equipment and just ship it here. That would make more sense. So I could, so I could build up my equipment. That would make more sense, right? That's a better
No
use of
doubt.
the money.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. That sound
Because if I get it in my
like
head,
a
it-
plan.
because if I get it in my
Yes.
head, it really ain't gonna do me no good. I can spend it on stupidness. So let me and
Hey,
if I reach that level,
Sister Michelle say we could do it through PayPal, so we'll figure something out. Let me ask you this, bro. Again, this is a season debater. A lot of people say you're gonna have a long day with this retainer sacrifice thing, man. A lot of
yeah.
people say it happened in the first dynasty, possibly even the second, and then you see it just disappear and they stop doing it. What makes you think they didn't do it?
Now I read an academic paper, the same one JJ was reading, and the paper was very sketchy as to whether they did that. It didn't show any primary sources to really bring that home to say that it happened. It showed one little first dynasty picture that nobody could really tell what it is, and by Medu Necha stature, it's almost like scribble scrabble. So you know, and
So
I
let me
looked
ask
into
you
it,
this.
and I looked into it, and I haven't found any text that corroborated in that way.
Okay. Let me ask you this, brother, because a lot of people is accusing you of this. A lot of people were saying you ran from me because you didn't think I was a formidable enough opponent and you wanted to go against somebody that was seasoned like JJ. Is that true?
No, if I wanted to do it, I would have said that. I just recognized it would have been a disingenuous argument, and I'm not doing that. It really wouldn't pan out for me to just make an argument to make an argument, and
So
that's the
who?
honest truth about it. And I didn't run. It's a big difference between running means you didn't
Well,
finish it.
no, you ain't. You
That's
might
where the
not have
debate
heard
was
me.
something
You might
different.
not. You might not have heard me. What I meant was you didn't think I was formidable enough, so that's why you went to JJ.
No. That's a definite lie. Whoever said that, I know that you.
That's what I'm hearing in these YouTube streets, brother. That's what I'm hearing in these YouTube streets. So who you got? Who you got between me and King J?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I've listened to King J, and I honestly think you could that you could win that debate. I think you could win that debate. I really think so.
Oh wow, wow.
I really think you could win that debate. I ain't sleeping on King J, but I think you could win that debate. I think you have enough history to be able to say, listen, I could put this together in a coherent enough fashion for people to understand what I'm saying and prove my point and win this debate. Because I see the angle that he's coming from, and I think that you could definitely deal with that angle. But you never know. When the day comes and you see what he's coming up with, you never know.
Who you got on the 26th between me and Heru Conscious?
Now that's an interesting one. Because I know Heru definitely knows how to put his ducks in a row. And I know you know how to do that too. And where I think Heru, I don't know how much he knows about Christian history. But I think he's a formidable debater. I think he can put together a good enough debate to possibly win. He could possibly win this debate. I think he could do that. But as far as knowing who has the history intact, I'm still going to say you have the history intact on this one. But I could be wrong. I think that you could put together a good enough historical argument to win that debate too. I think so.
Interesting. Interesting.
But I could be
Okay.
wrong because
Okay.
I don't know his level of knowledge when it comes to the Christian understanding. I don't think I've ever seen him do a quote unquote religious sort of Christian based debate. So I don't really know. But I'll tell you this. At the end of the day, realistically, that one is probably going to be a close one. That one might, that one might shock us.
So
Definitely.
you think the people who enslaved African American ancestors were Christians?
I think there's a good argument to make to say that if there's certain things that you're not.
And keep in mind, Jose, I need you to keep this in mind. I want to be very clear in what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they didn't profess to be Christians. I'm saying that they were Christians. Again, I read you that verse. Many will come to me saying, Lord, Lord, I prophesied in your name. I'm not asking if they profess to be. I'm saying if they actions lined up with it, though.
See, now here is a question. There's biblical Christianity and there's religious Christianity. And the two are acceptable and not necessarily mutually exclusive of one another. So you could be a Christian in the sense of,
actually, Jose, I gotta correct you, brother. I gotta correct you. There's only one Christianity.
I understand what you're saying.
It's only one.
But I'm making an argument.
We're not talking about the different branches in terms of denominations, but there's only one Christianity.
I could argue that
you want me to read you the definition? I can read you the definition of Christianity.
We are not debating DMG. I'm just simply telling you. I can make an argument that that Catholicism is Christianity in the canonized religious sense, and it is accepted as such.
Let me ask you this. I gotta interrupt you. So you saying Roman Catholicism? JJ, check your messenger, bro. Check your messenger. You saying
it's an accepted form of Christianity?
You saying that Roman Catholicism is Christianity, right?
It's an accepted form of Christianity among all Christians. They don't say it's not. There's no argument among.
Okay, no, not among. You gotta. As a non-Christian, you gotta stop speaking for Christians. You said it's an accepted form of Christianity, accepted by all Christians. That's not true.
Well, sir.
So in Christianity, is there any God that can be worshipped outside of the biblical God? Shout out to my brother Chuck Morgan. Chuck, I'm gonna be reaching out to you, man. I want to do another show in terms of an interview. I might even have a debate for you, but I'm gonna hit you up.
Now,
can Christians? Let me ask you this: can Christians worship anybody besides God?
Now, let me answer this in a nuanced way.
Jose, I just asked. Why don't y'all like answering questions, bro? I just asked, can Christians worship anybody except God, who they say is God?
Now,
yes or no?
I'm gonna say now. Hold on. I'm gonna say no, but then I'm gonna give you a nuance.
Hold up. You said no. You said no. I appreciate that answer. Let me return
nuance to that though. Can I give you nuance?
AJ, this link is just for JJ. This link is just for JJ. We will open it up after the brothers have their exchange, but right now, this link is just for JJ. Hey, Mr. Ducks, Mr. No Ducks himself, I need you to hit me up, bro. I might need you to judge a debate, bro. I ain't gonna say which one while I'm live, but I might need you. Matter of fact, I do need you to judge a debate. Just hit me up. And if you can't join the debate live, I have you record your judgment and you can send it to me and I'll play it for the people, but I might need you to judge a debate.
Now, let me give you.
Jose, wait a minute. Real quick, you said no, right? You can't worship. Christians can't worship anybody except their God, right? So let me ask this second question.
Now, hold on, DMG. Let me give you nuance to my answer. I want to give you nuance to the answer before you move on.
I gotta ask the second question, Jose. Don't run, bro. Don't run.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so do Roman Catholics worship Mary?
Among others, yes.
So they not only worship Mary by your own admission, they worship others, right?
Yes, sir. Including the God of the Bible.
So why do you say they Christians? Because somewhere I read that there's only one true God.
Bro, that's a matter of opinion.
I'm just asking a simple question. Okay, Jose, listen, man. Listen.
You know you can't get simple answers from me when it comes to the Bible. To me, it's a whole nuance.
But sometimes we gotta keep it simple, King. Sometimes we gotta be honest, bro. Sometimes we got to just be honest. I know you don't want to concede nothing to Christianity, brother, but sometimes you have to because it's just the truth. I know you think if I answer this honestly, it's gonna make Christianity look good. And I know that hurt. I know it hurt to make Christianity look good, but sometimes you just gotta be honest.
You honestly, DMG.
I just need you to be honest, brother. Hold on. I just need you to be honest. Let's just do a Google. Let's just do a Google right quick. Hold on. I'm speaking Google, so I need you to.
I don't got no.
I'm speaking Google. Hold on, Jose. Chill. Can Christians worship other deities? Jose, you want to guess what the answer is?
I'm sure it's going to say no. I'm very sure it's going to say no.
But you say Catholics worship other. You say Catholics worship other. Is that what you said?
Yes, they worship things other than what you would consider to be the biblical God.
Never mind. We'll finish our conversation later, Jose. I gotta hit a particular button because somebody just hit the show.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here!
Mandika.
Cut the beat off, man.
The legendary, the mighty founder of the Lion's Den, HOK GOAT, current Paradigm Shift TV 314 debate champ, the mighty Mandika Molly, aka JJ7K. What's up, my G?
Hey, finally the champ is back. You hear me, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, another platform, JJ7000 has from FOPE champ to the two-time HOK debate champ. You hear me? To the positive bills only champ. To the goddamn on. Now the 314 goddamn debate champ. Are you? Oh, that's right. You better go hide your superpower.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Yeah. What's going on, DMG?
Hey man, you know what it is, man. I'm maintaining, brother. I'm maintaining, brother. Check it out.
Yeah.
This young up-and-comer by the name of Jose Francis say he ready to take your belt. Shout out to Mrs. JJ7K. Listen, this young whippersnapper say he coming for your belt, man. He say ain't no primaries talking about no retainer sacrifice. He say you gonna be in for a long day, champ. He said, "You best get ready."
Yeah.
So we're gonna start. We're gonna start with you, champ, and then we're gonna turn it over to the eye smiter.
Yeah.
Let's keep it clean. No personal shots. No profanity. Let's go.
Hey, hold on. Let me share this to my audience if you don't mind, man. Hold on. Just keep talking for a minute. Give me 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Trouble,
listen,
yeah,
listen,
go ahead,
family.
let him talk for a second, man.
Listen, family. Jose, thank you, son. Jose say this gonna be JJ first and last defense of the paradigm shift debate title. Jose, talk to the family while JJ get the screen right.
All I want is a clean debate. If the brother have evidence, let him bring it. That's what I want to see, because I've never seen it, and I don't think that he can produce any primary evidence stating that. That's all I want to see. If he could do that, then he get all the respect in the world from me. So right now, I want to take that title, and I want to take some of that bass out of his voice. That's what I want right now. And I'm gonna do my best to do it. If I can't do that, then all right. But you gotta put some respect on my name after this debate. Simple.
You said you're gonna put some respect
on his
name, JJ.
And if you don't want to, that's on him.
Come on.
But I know I'm coming in here against the as he said, the champ on several platforms. And just that alone says something, because a lot of other people wouldn't do that. Right.
I didn't say you was a champ on many platforms. I'm talking about myself, brother.
That's
we
what
can't
I
even
just said,
find
bro.
your resume. All right, yeah. So you shouldn't even really, ladies and gentlemen, you really shouldn't even be in the ring with me. Be quiet, it's my turn, bro. You shouldn't even be in the ring with me, but I'm gonna give you an opportunity because you run your mouth, and that just makes the victory even more better. When I beat somebody up who run they goddamn pork chop eating lips, you know nothing about Kemet. You know nothing about the first dynasty. You know nothing about the God King dogma. For 200 years they did it. What that means, in a nutshell, the Kemetic king was the God. He was king on earth. He needed his army people with him. He needed his artisans. He needed his concubines. He needed his court jesters. There's only certain tombs, like maybe 8 or 9 of them, that is encompassed like this, where the king is representing the falcon horse, because he's a god king, and where his people is in some subsidiary graves right next to him, laid out in the same alignment as in tomb A, there's tomb O. They're all aligned in this certain manner. So my opponent, really the burden of proof is on you, because the general consensus, college books, scholars, and everyone already say that this is a dead argument. And the only way you're going to be able to win this debate is to come with peer-reviewed sources to debunk the consensus. When you go to UCLA and Harvard and Oxford, they're not even arguing for that this happened. You know what they're arguing, ladies and gentlemen? Why did it stop? Why did it stop? There was no Book of the Dead. There was no pyramid text when this was happening. Because it was a different ideology as time went on after the end of the first dynasty. You don't even know this. You are in some trouble because you're not debating me. You know who you're debating? You're debating the general consensus. So the burden of proof is on you. And I'm going to ask you this question. What sources are you going to bring to turn over scholarly information, universities and schools that's teaching this in their text? This is what I'm going to be bringing out. I'm going to show you that this has been a dead argument since 1990. Since Drury is his name. And what he did stratigraphic research. And that has something to do with the earth. And if they could tell if it's been dug up or redug up. All these people was buried at once, and it was all covered at once. You don't see no breaks in the roof or none of the foundation of their poor. Since 1990, everyone has already rolled with this guy. So you are coming to a debating something that's already been solved since 1990. But I guess I got to give you an educational ass whooping. Excuse me. So I need to know how do you
No
think
profanity, no profanity.
Yeah, it slipped out. It's my fault. I'm saying you don't have a snowball chance in jail. You don't. Because it's gonna get hot for you, sir. It's gonna get hot for you. The ice smitter. He coming as an ice smitter and with goddess energy, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who the ice smitter is, it's Shekemet. It's Wajat. This is when Ra got mad and he sent the eye down, and when it came down, it transformed into a lioness. This is what you got. You got Shekemet energy, sir. You're gonna get beat down just because you've been running around the community talking about this. I just seen you over there on a couple of platforms running your mouth 10 months ago. And they kept telling you, nah, bro. Concrete Corey kept telling you, hey, bro, know what you're doing. Asylum Car kept telling you, hey, bro, no, this ain't happening. Last night when you went on Saturday Night TV, hey, bro, no, what are you talking about? There was retaining sacrifice. Nobody in the community agrees with you but you. You don't even listen to nobody. So like I said, I'm going to be coming with science, like for our tests and studies. I'm going to be coming with the text, showing you what SIMSU means. SIMSU return. You know what SIMSU means? SMSR. That's the followers. That is your retainer. The humans are retainers. Their job on earth is to serve the king, and then when they leave, they have sacrificed. Listen, they have sacrificed their life on earth for the king. You're gonna do it in the
all right, champ. All right,
dynasty.
champ. Let's let the challenger get in here. Jose Francis, it's on you, man. Talk your talk.
Who cares what the consensus says? The consensus could be wrong. Who cares what YouTubers say? They could be wrong too. If you can't show me primary evidence, I don't want to hear the extra talk about pork chop eating lips. I don't want to hear that foolishness. And the fact of the matter is feminine energy or not, but you don't know what you're talking about. You'll get beat by this person with quote unquote feminine energy. I know you don't know the text because you're quoting the text. And if I ask you what the text is from, you don't even know. You didn't read the text. And I can tell you didn't read the text because the text doesn't say anything about that in it. I told you where the name came from. So you should read the text again, bro. You're getting the extra hype and you're doing too much. I'm going to show you from the text, and I'm very focused on that. I don't have no personal beef with you. And I will definitely do my best to embarrass you with scholarship. I'm not going to get overly excited with any ad homs. I'm not doing that. You need to focus on the debate and what you are here for. Because if you don't, you're going to get embarrassed. You're going to lose this debate. All that arrogance doesn't mean anything because I could read peer-reviewed studies just like you can. Maybe you should learn to spell and pronounce the word because there is no R in Shamsu. But you don't know that. So buckle down. Go debate, bro. That's what I'm telling you. I don't want to hear all that extra talk. You're doing too much, bro. I want to see your scholarship. And if you can beat me with scholarship, you get respect forever. But if I beat you and take this belt, you'll never hear the end of it as long as I have that belt. I'm letting you know that. That's all I have to say. I'm not coming to play with you. For sure. Definitely not, bro. So don't even think that. I'm focused and I'm locked in. You should get focused and locked in too.
Jose say he not coming to play. It's on you, brother JJ.
Yeah, like I say, he say he don't do ad hoc, but he slipped one in. See, hey, I'm a veteran at this. I know all the tricks of the trade. So my opponent position, ladies and gentlemen, if it's not in the text, then there's no evidence. So the framing was common in the 70s. That was a 70s argument, sir. It collapsed after Gunter Dreyer's work at El Quab Abydos. Now he gonna talk about my pronunciation. I'm a people's champ. I ain't gotta say 8-syllable words. I connect with my people. You don't know what you talking about, sir, because you're running around here calling yourself a feminine energy, the eye smitter. I'm gonna get you later on that. Then you're running around here talking about there was no slavery in Kemet. I'm gonna beat you up on that every time I see you. Let's keep it going, y'all. That's why this guy, he's not arguing against me, ladies and gentlemen. He's arguing against the consensus. I'm going to show you what they teach in colleges. I'm going to bring that to the debate, so you better be prepared. I got 70 slides right now and bust your head right now in this preliminary, and got three other goddamn PowerPoints that'll bust your head just as well. You're not ready for me. Now watch this, y'all. See, this is what broke the argument. Gunter, listen, have you heard of him? Gunter Dreyer's work at Al-Khor Abydos from 1986 to 1999. Since Dreyer's stratigraphic sequencing, so you don't know nothing about that. You want to talk about evidence in the text when it's right there, archaeology, right there in your face, right there with the research. That's your problem. You have no rebuttal against the consensus. Let's keep going. Watch this, y'all. It is the first dynasty's royal tombs. Egyptology courses do not debate. Listen to this, y'all. This is why this guy's in trouble. Egyptology courses do not debate whether retainer burials occurred. They assign questions now. Why did it stop with this king called Khaskameni? Khashekemwy. I can't pronounce his name, so I spell it out for you. Now, this what I'm gonna argue is 3 points. First, human retainers was a court person whose social role was carried into death.
JJ, are you sharing your screen?
No. I didn't see y'all. No, I'm just going off my notes. What I got now, I'm sharing my screen, but I can. You know, I will.
No. Somebody told me to share your screen. I thought you asked me to, and I ain't hear you.
Show up for the debate and all this. After this, I'm gonna be going on about a 3 or 4 tour to promote this debate on different platforms, because all the information that's been consumed and gathered, you can't get it all in one debate. You just can't. This is a dead argument. This is why some of the other people in the Kemetic community will not even address this when I step to the scene. Smash Rockwell, I had to teach him. And others, but I ain't dropping no names. I'm just telling you what's going on. I've been doing this. I've been doing this topic right here, the retainers, at least 6 years. And I only seen Jose Francis do this 10 months ago over there on Carnelius podcast, and he was getting beat up over there. Then I seen you get beat up yesterday on Sunday. Everybody telling you, man, what you doing, bro? But I'm going to teach you. Just because you don't respect me, I'm glad you don't respect me, but you're going to respect the scholarship. You ain't got to respect me. I ain't in this for fanfare, to drink Kool-Aid and read comic books with you. Now watch this, y'all. So watch this. We got material evidence. So this essay argues 3 points, right? Human retainers. A human retainer was a court person whose social role was called into death. Second, material evidence is valid without a first dynasty text. Jose Francisco, you didn't know? Let me say it again. Material evidence is valid without a first dynasty text because graves are actions, not descriptions. Third, the archaeological record, especially Dreyer's excavation, he don't know nothing about it. That's why I'm going to teach you in this debate. I'm going to drag you. Dreyer's excavation data and the shift to Shabbatis. Why all of a sudden did they shift? You're going to have to explain that. Why all of a sudden at the King Ka, QAA, now after the next burials of a king, there is no serrated graves. Why? Why did that happen? Because you know why? The dogma changed. Now the king has to get judged. The Osirian doctrine came in. But he ain't going to tell you that because he don't know. He's just sitting up here regurgitating what everybody he's said in the community since 2013. I'm a dog walk you, I promise, because you've been very disrespectful. Watch this. The archaeological record, especially Dreyer's excavation data and the shift to Shabbatis, makes the no text objection obsolete. I'm going to read one more and I'm going to turn it over to him. Now, what a human sacrifice was in life and in death. Right? Watch this. Okay. So, first dynasty retainers were members of the royal household and administration Evacuated subsidiary graves at Abydos contains adults predominantly 20 to 45 years with they had markers of skilled or administrative labor. These were not just no prisoners of war. These was not just no random common people. He knew who to take with him to continue ruling in the afterlife, because he was God incarnated on earth, and then he became God in the afterlife, in their heaven. Everybody didn't get to go. I'm going to show you this. You're some trouble, man. I don't want to hear, you got to show me this and show me this in the text. Nah, bro. I ain't got to show you nothing when the archaeology speaks for itself, when the graves speak for itself, rookie.
All right, champ. Let's let the challenger get in here. Jose, you heard what the champ said. He say you don't know what you talking about. He say he been seeing you on platforms years ago. He said you got beat up. He said they told you on Sinetta you can't win, like Adrian said to Rocky when he was fighting the Russian. You can't win. Tell us why you're wrong, bro.
Number one, there's no judgment scene of any Nasut Biti ever. They were always exempt from the judgment scene. You'll never see that anywhere. Their texts are unique because they are already considered nature upon earth. They are exempt from that. They are already the example of righteousness and ma'at already. They are the highest of high priests. And the title of this debate is not slavery in ancient Kemet. It's not who gets to go into the afterlife. It is were their retainer sacrifice. That's the topic of the debate. Simple as that. And when we read the primary text, which should trump other things, we recognize that we don't hear this idea that they are surrounded by attendants. The primary text don't make that something important in the afterlife. You see the Nasut, you see the example of Unas becoming a Nasut by absorbing, becoming a nature by absorbing other nature. That's what you see. And that's what and these are things that I intend to show you, that the primary text don't place any importance on this idea of taking servants with you into the afterlife. It doesn't, they don't highlight that. It highlights several other things in the text, such as becoming nature for the Nasut and the layman as well. That is what it shows you. That's what I intend to show you, what the afterlife is about, because archaeology is not necessarily a primary source. Because I can look at something after the fact and make an assertion that I think this is what happened. But how do they know that's what happened? That's their view and their opinion. And people are regurgitating this as if this is a fact. When you read, and when you read the same paper that he was reading, he used possible and probable a lot. So they're not even sure what it was, and there are no primary texts to back that up, and that is important. You can't go past the people and the culture. They wrote a lot. They have a lot of historical documents, religious documents, funerary documents that tell you how they thought. And just because something is a consensus, that don't make it right. That makes it something agreed upon. But when you look at the evidence of these certain things, and they talk about the trauma, you don't see all this violent trauma. You don't see this chopping up and this and that and this and that. You don't see all of that. You you have to come better than what you're saying. One expert's opinion does not make them right. The consensus is not always right. I can challenge a consensus, and that's what I intend to do. I intend to teach you how to look at these primary texts and what sources you should look at before you get on here and just scream and yell about something because an expert said so. Experts can be wrong. Experts are allowed to make conjecture. You have to know the difference when you're reading these things. And I'm going to show him the difference between conjecture and primary evidence from the people. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, ladies and
Champ,
gentlemen.
he say that's all he got to say. He say you ain't got no primary text, champ. He say you ain't got no primary text. He say the Natsu was exempt from being judged because he was the high priest on earth. He say you got to come better, brother. He is the eye smiter. He is Jose Francis. He is a magi archer. And you got to come better, champ. Let's go.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, this probably be one of my easiest debates in my catalog, my resume. You know, I'm not going to take them lightly, but I've been studying you the last couple of days, bro. And to be honest, a person who don't listen, just listen to talk. That's an ancient JJ 7000 proverb. Write it down. Because you don't pay attention, you don't comprehend the text, and this is why I'm going to enjoy doing what I'm going to do in this debate. Now, let me get to some more of my notes, man. Let me get to some more of my notes, because like I say, unless you can come, and he won now, all of a sudden now he want to disprove the academic consensus. You're not going to be able to do that. You're not out there doing any digs. You're not there in no excavations. You're not out there collecting no pottery. You're not out there interpreting tablets or nothing like that. You're just an old internet person, just like me. So this is where I go with the college universities. This is why I go with the peer-reviewed sources and references, Chicago-style manual citations. This guy, when he comes to this debate, he talking about an old, he talking about, you can't, look, what we're talking about now is now. Don't be trying to bank on something I didn't said before me and you even had a goddamn contention or discord. You're doing that's a mistake to try and bring something I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about the research from Dreyer. I'm talking about the stratigraphy. I'm talking about when they go, there was no break and that these people were buried all at once. You don't have to have no torture if these people voluntarily was going because that was part of the goddamn bureaucracy. The hell's wrong with you? I'm going to gladly put the belt to your goddamn ass. Excuse me, DMG. Because you deserve it. Because all you're doing is been running around here in the community talking nonsense, talking about show me this, show me that. And you ain't showed us a dang on thing, bro. But your lip. So let me get back to something. Let me see, where do I start? Where do I start? You know nothing about see, he didn't know about the God King. This is what they was doing in the for 200 years in the first from what was it? It stopped. It was 31 BC to 2900 BC. This is what they was doing. It may have stopped, but you cannot negate the fact that it happened. The whole dogma changed. Now, even the next king, Osiris, and the people after that, they had to be judged. There was no Book of the Dead, none of that. Let me keep going, man. You're in trouble, bro, because you don't have anything to refute what the scholars say. So, let me ask you this. If the first dynasty king was not a god, why does every Seraket, which is like a cartouche, show horse falcon perched above his name? This is very important because at that time, the king was God incarnated. And when he died, he took his cabinet with him, his goddamn concubines, his court jesters, his builders, and all this is some of his officials, noblemen, because even in some of these graves, it's showing you some of the names of these people and their position. What, they all just died at once? Jose Francis? 527 people died instantly when the king died. They all got buried together. Wow. How often do that happen? Huh? How often do that happen? So, in kingship, so the Seraket is a polished facade frame with the king's name inside of the horse falcon on top, from namer through qua. This is consistent across ceiling tags and stelae. In ancient iconography, the falcon marks Horus, the sky god and divine protector of kingship. As above, so below. Here's the trouble. Praising him above the king's name visually states this ruler is the living Horus. Sekhmet Francis, because you say you're the ice smitter. Everybody knows that that's a woman. Everybody knows that Ra sent that down for her to go ahead in the book of the heavenly cow, sent her down to handle that business. And he had the only way he could stop her was he had to send this red wine down to get her drunk. That's your energy? Why couldn't you pick a male warrior? But guess what? It ain't important. I just want to teach you your name and what you represent. Now, if kingship was only political, we would expect a human or bureaucratic symbol. Instead, every first dynasty ruler is marked as Horus. Later Old Kingdom texts then say the king is Horus and becomes Osiris. And later on texts, and I'm telling Jabbar, they believe this was literal. The second is the material start of the dogma. When you see this stele. Now, on the Namur Pilate, the king is shown smiting enemies in the form of Horus. What does this iconography mean, Jose Francis? These are some of the questions you're going to have to answer. But I'm going to tell you right now, the Namur Pilate shows the king wearing the crown in Upper Egypt and smiting a foe, while a horse falcon holds a rope through the human head. That's a myth made visible. The king acts as horse, defeating the enemies in order. Ma'at is not a portrait of a general. It is a divine role. You see what I'm saying? How about this? One more question. I'm going to turn it back over to you. Why do Dynasty 1 titles link the king to Horus, but never do a human administration role alone? Answer. Because you don't know it. First Dynasty labels and tags give the king Horus names and link him to temples and cult places. There is no title like chief of men, standing alone. The religious title comes first. So this is a pattern that shows the state presented the king's legitimacy as divine. And when that king dies, and those 200 years that they did this, he had to continue to have his counsel with him, his wife, his concubines, his animals, his goat, all that came with him. These humans were the retainers. And they in life they sacrificed themselves to please him and to be with him and to make sure the king is initiating. And the same thing happened in the afterlife. This was the purpose for the human retainer sacrifice. Like I say, I'm gonna say it one more time. At the choir, this practice stopped. You have to show us, well, why did it stop? You can't just say, well, I don't believe it happened. You got to show us the reason why. You got to go against the consensus. Trust me, I'm going to be bringing up I'm going to show you the top people in this research and study and how they feel about it. You don't have nobody that you can come up to us and say, well, you know what? This didn't happen. And they teach it in college. They teach it in the books. You have nobody. So I'm waiting for you to even, like I said, I'm going to tell you my sources. I'm bringing Dreyer. I'm bringing before this day is over, I'm going to tell you my sources. I'm going to tell you my premise. Ain't going to be no ambush scholarship. It's just going to be belt to butt. Go ahead.
I Smiter, the champ say he think he know more than you do about this particular time frame and category in ancient Kemet. He say you in over your head, brother. He say your arm's too short to box with the mighty Mandinka Mali, man. Talk to us.
Now, number one, the word is Sarek. I don't have an issue with saying that the king was divine, but the debate is not about that. I don't have an issue with the normal pilot, but the debate is not about that either. The debate is about retainer sacrifice. The debate is not about my name. And if you read the text, since you brought it up, the text, they dubbed the text the destruction of mankind. And he sent Sekhmet down, and she was killing humans because they were making fun of Ra when he was an old man walking around with his head shaking, drooling. That's what the text is about. And Ra felt bad for men, and he took, I think it was 1,000 gallons of beer or something of that sort, made it red to look like blood, and she drank that. And then she became another deity. So read the story properly. And that's not even what the debate is about. The debate is about, are you going to bring sources to prove what you're saying? I am not getting into these side arguments with you. I am laser focused on what this debate is about. I want to hear your scholarship. I don't want to hear anything outside of retainer sacrifice. I can call myself whatever I want. That is not the subject of this debate. The subject of this debate is, can you prove your point? Focus in on proving your point. I want good scholarship. I don't want the extra. I'm going to keep saying that to keep you focused. Because I want laser focused JJ 7000 / Mandinga Mali to come into this debate kicking and screaming, fighting, uppercuts. I'm going to hit you some uppercuts. I'm going to throw some arrows at you. That's what I want. I don't want the extra. Focus, brother. So when you come in there and you see the arrow, you might be able to duck one or two before I catch you in your left eye. That's what this debate is about. That's what I want to hear. I am coming in there to take your belt and to take you down a couple of notches. I'm going to keep repeating that. I have text to prove what I'm saying. If you want to go into fallacious side arguments, I could get you with those side arguments too, but those side arguments are not going to help you when you're in this debate. Talking about Nama is not going to help you. Talking about Sekhmet is not going to help you. It's going to hurt you. But if you want to go there, we could go off the rails and do that at another time. We're not doing that now. So focus in on what we are doing, bro. Don't get frazzled by other things. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, I'm glad that's all you have to say, because you said nothing during your whole diatribe. Look, let me show on the screen.
Hey, champ. Jose say you not focused, bro. And you know what happened when the champ not focused? Remember, Buster Douglas knocked Tyson out, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Jose Buster Douglas.
He kind of looked like him, but he ain't gonna help him out. The look ain't gonna help you in this fight. Built up like Buster Douglas ain't gonna help you win this debate, sir. Share my screen, DMG. Let me give him my premise.
Hold on, I gotta remove my joint. Hold on.
Yeah, you're ill prepared for this. You keep talking about what you want to see. What we want to see for you is you turning over the general consensus. You turning over Dreyer's research has been already a settled argument since 1999. It ain't about what you want, it's about what you need to bring. And you ain't skilled enough to even be in this debate with me, bro. Because you're gonna take me down a notch. You ain't qualified to take me down a notch. So hold on, let me okay. Let me get to this. Because see, what premise are you gonna bring, sir? We don't want to hear none of your I don't believe this, I don't believe that. And you said you got texts and sources, so you better be bringing them tonight. Show us something what you're going to bring tonight, because I ain't scared to show you what I got. Now, this premise argues that ancient Egypt retainer sacrifice was not a mythic exaggeration, nor a borrowing from Mesopotamia, nor, because I heard your little buddy the other day talking about, they mixing it up with Mesopotamia. No, they ain't. This is all an ancient practice. It happened all through Africa, sir. It happened in West Africa. It happened in South Africa. It happened in Central Africa. It happened in North Africa. It happened. Like Asar and Carl said, this is what we came up with as a people. This was an ancient practice. Egypt didn't make it up. They wasn't the first. So you just, I can't believe this ever happened. And the proof is in the archaeology, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I know this guy's not ready. So not a precursor to Indian Sati. Then you want to try to talk about my speech. But you the one that's coming up here with goddamn jerk chicken broken English. You are. So no precursor to Indian.
No profanity.
Oh, did I cuss? It's my fault. All right. Yeah, keep me on point. But a historically verifiable, temporarily bounded practice. Let me say this again for this guy. Not a precursor to Indian Sata, but a historically verifiable, temporarily bounded practice confined to Egypt in the first dynasty. 3100 BCE to 2900. It was an instrument of an early state formation, ladies and gentlemen. This is my premise, designed to display the king's absolute control over life, death, and the afterlife. At the precise moment when the Egyptian state coalesced from competing chieftains into a unified territorial policy. Excuse me. So the core claim rests on these three pillars. And here go my premise. Watch when his turn, he ain't gonna have nothing to put on the goddamn on screen but his lip, but his assumptions, leaning on his own understanding, ladies and gentlemen. No, you need to be brought down a notch because you're too cocky and arrogant. A lot of you island guys come over here and think you're smarter than us. We're gonna take you down a notch. Now, first, the physical evidence. That's what I'm bringing. Now, watch when his turn, he ain't gonna have nothing. At Abydos, the royal cemetery of El Aquat, W.M. Flinders Petrie excavated the tombs of Hor-Aha, Dejur, Dejet, Din, Anadid, Sermerket, and Kwa. Between 1899 and 1901, he observed the subsidiary grades. This is the most important part about this debate, the subsidiary grades. Because after Kwa, you don't see any more subsidiary grade. What you see is the king getting buried by itself. Why did it stop? If you're not going with the consensus, then you got to show us why it stopped. And he can't. He observed the subsidiary graves surrounding each royal tomb were sealed beneath a single, look at this, y'all, continuous mud brick roof. This debate already over before we even start. Walls have slumped onto pottery and other grave goods while the mortar was still wet, indicating that the retainers were interred at the same time as the king. Well, we just all died at the same time, everybody. Talk about you got to show trauma. Some of these places they show them with cups, meaning these people were poisoned. Some of them show they were strangled. He want to see bruised heads and arms cut off. Why would they do that type of trauma to their body when these people, the same one is coming to him, his court, coming with to the afterlife? Huh? Let's keep going, man. This is a rookie debater, man. This archaeological signature, no rebuild cut, no intrusive shafts have been confirmed by David O'Connor's re-excavations, 1967 to 2017. What up-to-date sources he got? Huh? We don't want to hear about, well, you got to show me, you got to believe. And listen to this, y'all. Look at the schools. And by the New York, NYU, Yale, Penn, Abydos Project. I'm bringing you projects. I'm going to bring you college material. What are you going to bring to the debate to people to make you think that you could take my belt? The pattern is consistent. Yours 318 retainers, the jet 174. Look at this, y'all. And choir, the numbers decline over time, suggesting a deliberate phasing out. Let me give you two more paragraphs you can get back in. Second, the chronological anchor for decades. Egyptologists debated whether the first dynasty began in 3,400 to 3,100 or 2,900 BC. Michael D. and colleagues at Oxford. I'm going to Oxford, y'all. He going to the local community college. You hear me? He going to the children's library reading the fundamental. He got big red rest of the goddamn characters. Cat in the hat. That's the level of scholarship compared to mine, sir. You're not going to have no science. You're not going to be able to overturn the majority consensus. You're not going to be able to turn over a dead argument. Nobody debates this anymore. I don't even know why you even in front of me with this nonsense. It's already been secured.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Look at this. The model places the ascension of Hor-Ah at 3085 BCE at the end of Kwa's reign at approximately 2900 BC. This 185-year span matches the archaeological observation that look at this guy. I mean, where you find this guy, DMG? That retainer sacrifices appear with Hor-Ah and disappears with Kwa. No second dynasty.
All right, wrap it up, champ. We got to get to the challenger.
All right. Yeah, hold on. Let me say this. No, this is it for me because all you got to do is show up. I need to know. We need we're gonna set up how the rounds gonna go. Or we're gonna do rapid fire. We're gonna do this because hey, I can keep going because all the information I got, you're not gonna be able to get out in one debate. But I want the people to know what's going on. I want them to know that he don't have a snowball chance in jail, right? Now, no second dynasty royal tomb. I'm gonna end it right here. No second dynasty royal tomb contains subsidiary human burials, and no old king pyramid complex replicate the practice. Why did they stop Jose Francis? That is the burden of proof is on you. I yield.
Jose, it's on you, my brother. The champ is saying you got to come with a mighty big gun. The champ is saying you got to come locked and loaded. Hey, for all my Wire fans, the champ is saying swing at the king. You best not miss. It's on you, Jose.
Well, I'll say this. If he put that together, I'm very impressed if he actually wrote that. So I'm very impressed if he put that together. I'm not taking away anything from this brother's skill as a debater. Definitely not. And I know I have to come correct. And I'm going to do that. I don't have to show my hand at this point. I don't have to yell and scream and get excited. I'm going to sit back with the time that I have, and I'm going to work with this and do my best, which is all I can do. You can bring up sources. I could bring up sources. You can go to Yale, Harvard. I could do the same thing. That's nothing special. I can read. You can read. That's nothing special. So, I mean, I don't know why you're acting like that's something special. Anybody could go and pick up something to agree with them or disagree with them. That's what scholarship is about. Which one is making more sense and which one has more proof. And I intend to prove you wrong. Simple as that. I'm not impressed with all of that talk that you're talking. I'm not impressed with all of that. I'm going to keep saying this until you get sick of me. I'm focusing in and I'm locking in. I'm not getting distracted by all of that talk that you're talking. I don't care. I am focusing in because I want to win this debate. That is it. I'm not going through all of that extra unnecessary. I know what debate is about. I'm going to focus on the debate. And that is the end of that. And at this point, DMG, if you want to open up, we could do that.
No, hold on for a minute. Let me get the people some more. Ladies and gentlemen, he hasn't grown anything but his pork chop eating lip. Buster Jose Francis Douglas has brought nothing. And I'm not that Mike Tyson that day. You ain't gonna catch me. I promise you. Because, ladies and gentlemen, he hasn't brought. Remember, what text are you bringing? I ain't scared to show my hand. All this ambush scholars, you have nothing. Nothing, sir. And you made a big mistake by signing up for this debate. It's going to be the worst mistake of your short-lived debate career. You're going to go on the wall as another victim, another pelp on JJ 7000, the most feared debater on this planet's wall. Don't get excited. What you want to be boring in the debate? I got to carry the whole debate? Nobody want to just watch you. And you just running your lip with no information? You ain't going to keep the people up? You ain't going to keep them interested? You're not going to bring them nothing? That's what you do all over the internet. We ain't never seen you dig into the text. You showed a picture 10 months ago. I seen it, sir. I have a lengthy premise that you got to deal with. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, what did he bring up here? Nothing. Shakamet. Oh, excuse me, Ice Miter. Oh, wait, that's Wajek. Oh, wait a minute. That's not a man's epithet. This is what I'm dealing with. A guy that's coming in goddess energy. The physical evidence.
Right. Listen, we got.
I told you should stop that, Jason. I told you should stop that.
Tell me what to do.
Hold on. One mic. We got King J in the building. King J, you got a question or comment for JJ or Jose or possibly both? Go ahead, bro.
both. I have a question for both.
Here you go.
To the brother Jose, peace to the panel. I want to
Yeah.
ask in regards to the third dynasty, Nasut Aha, and his subsidiary funeral sacrifice. What do you say to that, um, Pharaoh Dozier and Pharaoh Aha in regards to retainer sacrifice?
I'm going to say the same thing I keep saying. They don't know that that's retainer sacrifice. They're assuming it's retainer sacrifice based on archaeological evidence, which to me is not necessarily something primary when you're talking about a culture. There are other factors that you have to consider other than just I found people and I think this happened. No, they have historical texts in some cases to verify or disprove what's going on. They have other things to verify or disprove what is going on. So archaeology alone can't be a basis because it's a lot of conjecture about what we think happened. Just so you know, I've read a paper. The paper, the
So your
paper had a lot of
contention would
conjecture.
be so your contention would be the word as far as the definition of the word retainer sacrifice, as far as what they would consider it, the definition of the word, or the actual practice itself.
I don't have a contention with the definition of the word. My contention is they are not stating definitively, at least in the paper that I read, that it happened. They're using possible and probable. They think that it happened. And in the paper, they didn't show any primary evidence to state that it actually happened.
Well, with
It is
Dozier, they have
scholarly conjecture.
well with Dozier they have 269 graves. So are the 269 graves conjecture, or are they actually verifiable archaeological
People
discoveries?
being people being buried next to the pharaoh is a tradition. It's an honor to be buried next to the pharaoh. It doesn't mean someone was murdered to be buried next to the individual. And
So
there
that
might be
tradition only
argument.
lasted the first dynasty.
I'm saying to you, listen to me, Kenji. I'm saying being buried next to the pharaoh doesn't mean that they killed the individual. It doesn't mean that. It means that it is considered an honor to be buried in the proximity of the individual. It doesn't mean anybody was murdered. That doesn't
Yeah,
say that.
they weren't murdered. They were just unalived. Okay. Um. So so this
All right,
tradition is.
hey, real quick, we also got Gideon. So King J, I'm gonna have you wrap it up, and then we got to get to Gideon.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I was just want to get an understanding. So you saying that's the tradition? So would that tradition have ended in the first dynasty, or when did that tradition end in regards to the subsidiary graves?
I'm gonna say it again. Being buried with the suit is an honor. There were different burial practices later on. They were interred differently throughout history. So you would see you I'm sure you would still see the practice, but just in a different way. After the first dynasty going on, the burials became more sophisticated. But you are not going to be able to show me anyone who was being murdered to live in the afterlife within a suit. You can't even show me that that's something that the text would even talk about as being important. And that's the point that I'm
After
making.
the first dynasty.
You said that. I said there's no text that say that.
Okay. Okay. And so to JJ, do you see the same thing in regards to the tradition or practice being something that first and second dynasty, and after that possibly that's the only time we actually ever see it?
Yeah. All this stuff he talking about honor burials. Anybody can just it's an honor to get buried next to the king. You made that up. I will say it was an honor with back then. I guess if you was a king and his noblemen, his wives, his concubine, his military people, his generals, his trusted people was to go with him because they felt that yes, they're going to be in the afterlife with this God King. Period. Yes, it stopped. But for him to just say everybody got to do it, that is a lie when it comes to this first dynasty, these 200 years of doing this. You made it up. You made it up, bro. You got to show us where it would. Matter of fact, is you going to bring that to the debate, showing us everybody got the honor to be common people got the honor.
I didn't say that, JJ. I never said that. You never heard me say that.
Goddamn
I never said that, bro. I didn't say that.
Shut your mouth. You've been arguing stuff that I ain't said the whole time.
One mic, Jose. You can respond. You can respond. You can respond, Jose. But JJ got the floor. Hey, no personal shots. One more personal shot, and I'm dropping you.
All right. So listen, Dreyer rarely uses the person I'm bringing to the debate. He's not going to use possible or probably when reporting stratigraphy. College textbooks now use his data as fact, not theory. Dreyer's language equals stratigraphic fact, not guesswork. Jose Francis. When Dreyer writes about El Quad, he talks in bricks, seals, and layers. The subsidiary graves were backfilled at the same construction phase of Tomb O. You probably don't even know the letters of the tombs. You don't know it. Tomb O and of Dajir, the seal's name of Dajir. No later intrusions. That's because stratigraphy, he don't even know about stratigraphy. It's binary. Either the field cuts the tomb or it doesn't. You don't say probably when you see the brick course tie in it. What Dreyer does is what Dreyer does use possible is for cause of death or motive. But the core claim, 587 people buried at once with the king, he treats it as established from the ground. That's why opponents can't cite a Dreyer line that says maybe they were later. It's a possibility. So let me say this: the consensus. Let me say this, because you're not fighting me.
Real quick, JJ. We got to get the get in, bro.
Yo, let me end with this.
What's good?
You got what's man? What you think of the upcoming debate?
He did pretty good at answering the question, DMG. But could I ask another just like a little?
Hold on. Let me go to Gideon, bro.
Shalom. What's good, DMG? What's good, JJ? What's good, Jose? What's good, King J? All praises, man, to the Most High in the name of Yeshua. Appreciate you, having me on, DMG. I just want to say, man, Jose, you my man, bro, but it sounds like you resigned to your fate. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I don't know. You the first debate you took, you bowed out, and you know what I'm saying, that's a big up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. I think you was just on a roll and you took this debate because I don't know, but I just want you for one, bro, and this is what I see. You're not bringing forth any new information about it. Because like JJ says, the consensus is saying that that's what it is. These are sacrifices, right? But you're not bringing nothing. You just keep saying like, okay, I'm going to bring it in the debate. But you're not even building no type of foundation, bro. So that shows me you really don't have nothing. So let me ask you this, Jose. So you said that they were buried because it was an honor and it was stopped, right? Let me show you how you're
I did not say that. I said they have a practice.
Jose,
that's not what I said.
No, Jose, you said
it. He wouldn't finish asking the question, Jose.
Yeah,
hold on.
Right. And I'm gonna finish in like 15-20 seconds, and I'm gonna end it with a question, and I will like both of the debaters to answer this question. So you said that it started out, and I say started out because we don't see it no more unless you're about to tell us it continued. So first you say that they were buried as an honor, and then we see it stopped. So then I asked you the other day about the Shakti. You said that the initial burials that we see in the, uh, pre-dynastic Egypt, and King J even brought up Doja, which is, you know what I'm saying, that's a big up. You know what I'm saying? So not even that's later dynasty. It just wasn't consistent. But we see Doja doing it. So you say those are not sacrifices. But when you look at the Shakti, you say those are, representatives of the household of the Pharaoh. They're going to be serving them. So just explain how, we see in the beginning they were buried for honor. That's what you say, but then it stopped. And then also you say that the real burials that we see with the Pharaoh wasn't sacrifices, but the Shakti that's representing them are servants in the afterworld. Can you explain to me how you make that make sense, and if you understand it or not? And the same thing to JJ, can he touch on that part?
All right, we're gonna go to Jose first. Hold on, Jose. We're gonna go to Jose first, then we're gonna go to JJ. Then I'm gonna let everybody close out, starting with King J. Go ahead, Jose.
I didn't say it stopped. I said it is a practice for certain noble people to be buried with him as a reward, because in life, the closer you got to the Nasut, the more honor you got. I didn't say it stopped. That's not what I said. I said the burial practices would have changed. So you would not have seen those sort of internments or burials after a certain amount of time, regardless of what it was. And I'm saying that the Shaktis are something that would definitely be considered servants in the afterlife, and they had what they call incantation on them. I'm not saying they're representing any servants in the man's household. You put that on there. I never said that. I said they're supposed to represent servants in the afterlife. But when you're looking at the text that you hear quoted most often, don't put any emphasis on the idea of servants in the afterlife. They put emphasis on passing through different levels to become.
I'm confused. You just said it. They are. You just said they're servants, and then you just said they're not. Am I tripping?
Hold on, Brother Gideon.
Okay.
You'll be able to respond back to him. Go ahead, Jose.
Mostly Asar and Harut. And in the case of Unas, who was on a suit of, I think, maybe the 4th or 5th dynasty, he started symbolically devouring the deity and becoming the deity. So this is, and this is what I'm saying to you. They don't highlight any idea of anyone having any servants in the afterlife when you read the text. You're not going to get quote from any scholars talking about that. They talk about becoming the deity. That is the most important thing, being justified, being ma'at. Not sitting back in the afterlife being fanned by 30,000 concubines like Islam. There ain't no virgins in the Amduat. That just ain't in there. Simple as that. You're not going to see that. So now, if you want to respond, go ahead and respond.
Yeah, I'll be real short. 3 words, bro. So are you saying the Shakti are servants in the Duat, or they're not?
I said yes, they are
Okay,
considered.
That's it. You can go ahead, JJ, because you don't even much wait 2 seconds before you contradict yourself, bro. Because you sat up here and said they're not, then you say they are.
I never said that.
That's just what I hear, bro.
I didn't say they're not. I said they do not place emphasis in the text when you read the text on that particular thing. That is what I said. I didn't say they were not. Don't misquote me.
Real quick. So over on Worldview Wars, in the Worldview Wars Debate League, the only thing that's different from the format you see on the screen is during the Q&A, you have 10 minutes to ask your opponent as many questions as you can within that time frame. You also have 3 opportunities to stop your time. Gideon is familiar with that format. I call it the chin check session. Now, over here on Paradigm Shift, instead of the 10-minute chin check, because I wanted to differentiate from being in the league to just being on the platform having a debate, you will get to ask your opponent 3 questions. This is the format JJ and Jose will have during their debate. A 2-minute opening argument, 2 10-minute rounds, one for the affirmative, one for the rebuttal. But obviously, during the rebuttal, you can continue making your affirmative argument if you so choose. Then you will have 3 questions for your opponent, in which they will have 1 minute to answer. Then you will have a 3-minute closing. If you need to see how the judges' scorecard is broken down, you will see that each of these phases are scored at a particular rate, 1 through 10, for a total of 50. If you get whoever gets the judges' votes, a majority there is, will win the debate. Again, over on Worldview Wars, it's a little bit different. I believe it's a 3-minute opening, 2 10-minute rounds, 3-minute closing, and then that chin check session where you get your feet put to the fire for 10 straight minutes. Any questions about the format? JJ, it's on you, and then we're going to let everybody close out.
Yeah. I mean, 3 questions. We can't do like a 10-minute hot seat, because this guy need to be put on the hot seat so you can see him fumble. 3 questions. I mean, I guess, man. But all right, man. So it's 2 10-minute rounds. One for my premise, and then I go into my rebuttal for him. Then I go into 3 questions, and then I go into a 2-minute close. Okay.
3-minute close.
That's fine. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get straight. Like I say, I'm gonna do a couple more other shows after this, y'all, so y'all can kind of get a feel for what's really going on. I've been doing this argument for years. This guy's new. He don't know what the heck's going on. He just a Jabari parrot. Oh, it didn't happen. You got to show me this, and the archaeology speaks for itself. You have no text to debunk archaeology. You don't. You have no text that's going to prove. And then you talking about the do-I. What are you up here talking about the do-I for? This is before the do-I, ladies and gentlemen. This I know he don't know what the hell he's talking about. Excuse my language. The do-I, that's the wrong date by 700 years. The do-I as a map underworld in New Kingdom book, or the Book of the Dead, Amduat, Book of Gates, 1550 to 1070 BCE. First, you can't use a later theology to explain an earlier practice. You can't do that. That's anachronism, ladies and gentlemen. No text exists in Dynasty 1. So if no text exists, what text are you coming from? You notice he didn't even say, oh, I'm bringing this guy, and I'm bringing this guy. You're going to wait for the debate. What you see now is what you're going to see in the debate from him. Nothing. The Duat describes the king's journey, not the court selection. Even later texts talk about the kings navigating the Duat. They did not say, therefore, bring 587 young adults. If my opponent needs a text to say it, they've lost because the text isn't there. The archaeology contradicts Spirit Roar as explanation. Container graves have real bodies, real goods, real seals. See? Real stratigraphy. Do you know what stratigraphy is? You better look it up before you come into this debate, because that's what killed this argument 30 years ago. The Duat is a religious map. You don't excavate a map. You excavate 587 skeletons in one full episode. You explain if it wasn't a sacrifice, then you got to explain how did it happen? Why did it happen? How did this happen? And then all 7 or 8 different kings in that dynasty, and they all laid out the same format. You got to explain that. It's just a coincidence, huh? Where they find this guy? This is the level of competition that is resorted to. This guy, the ice smitter, Sekhmet. The practice ends before the duat is written. Retainer burial stops when Kaskemeskima, I can't pronounce that, y'all, Dynasty 2. Sabbati start in Dynasty 3. The duat corpus start 1,000 years later. What is this guy talking about, the duat? You can call something, You can't call something 1,000 years after you stop doing it. How about this, y'all? The demographic. This one we bring out demographic. Doesn't match spirit servants. If it was just spirit ideas, you expect symbolic inclusion instead of you get a strict filter. The age group is from 20 to 45, able bodies, healthy. These people just didn't drop off and die. They had a special. You can look. They did the research of their diet and all that type of stuff to show that these wasn't just no random people. They were selectively picked. The duat, like I say, is an Egyptian specific and later. This pattern is not. So if you come to me talking about some duat, you're already lost. You better go back in time. We're going back further and before. The field already has moved on, ladies and gentlemen. Dreyer, look up Dreyer. Guthrie Dreyer. That's my main piece of evidence that I'm going to bring to this debate. And the colleges who teach that this is a dead argument. They're not arguing anymore. Did it happen? They're arguing, why did it stop? Do you understand that? They argue from stratigraphy, from demography, from seals, and from humans plus the body switch. If the scholars who dug it don't use a duat, you can't either, Jose Francisco. Bottom line, show me the word duat on a Dynasty 1 ceiling. You can't, because it's 700 years too late. This is how I know this guy don't know what he's doing. This is how I know it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath like Sekhmet did when she came down in the book of the Heavenly Cow. And was destroying mankind.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's what's going to happen to you.
All right. Listen, JJ, tell the people what they can expect in under a minute on July 12th at 3:15 Central Time.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you're going to see in this debate is two different classes of debaters. You're going to see a novice and a neophyte who calls himself the Eichmann, a feminine epithet. Then you're going to see a master debater. JJ 7000, the most feared debater on the planet, the FOPE debate champion, former debate champion, the two-time HOK champion, the HOK GOAT, the Powers of Bill only debate champion, and the new 314 paradigm shift debate champion. Do what I do. I don't even know how he even got in this championship match. He ain't even worked his way up. But guess what? Since you've been running your mouth, I'm going to beat you down till you stay down. Because, ladies and gentlemen, he has no sources. He is fighting against the consensus. He is fighting against the college textbooks. He is fighting against stratigraphy and demography. You're in a low-win situation. You got to be, when you come against the consensus like that, you got to come with some goddamn extraordinary, unseen information that has just now been discovered, and we know you can't do that. I yield.
All right, King J, close this thing out. Tell the people how bad you're gonna beat me up next Friday.
More than anything, I think the people are gonna benefit from it because they're gonna get the information. I think you're gonna be able to articulate your stance pretty well. I'm gonna be able to articulate mine. So it's going to be a win-win for the audience. So yeah, be out and look out for that. You got a heavy hitter lined up. This debate here as well with Jose and JJ. I like to stay unbiased in things like this, but your brother did bring up the shop teas, right? That was going to be my question in regards to the shop teas and what they actually represented. Opposed to the retainer sacrifices, but I actually think they took the place of the people who were actually sacrificed. The Shaktis represent. They have a job. They have a purpose to do something. You know what I'm saying? In the duat. So I think it's hard to stay biased because I don't think that there's texts that represent what the brother Jose is trying to express. If he did, I would entertain it. But to say retainer sacrifice never happened is a stretch, and I think that JJ has had this presentation ready and locked and loaded for Jabari. So anybody who's standing in the way, not Jabari,
Fact.
gonna get the gonna get the full clip that he had. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, Jose. You're gonna have to come with something for real, for real. So I'm interested to see what you're gonna bring for real, bro.
You went out, King J.
No, that was it. That was it. I was just I'm interested in seeing what the brother Jose gonna bring. It's gonna be an exciting debate. Definitely tune in for it for sure.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. My man Gideon, and let me reshare my screen. I gotta bring this joint up because I need you to talk about it and give the people a little preview of what they can expect from you this Sunday when you face the devil.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting, man. As we know, the brother Lucifer is one of those people that read themselves clean out the book, you know. So it's gonna be interesting dissecting his psychosis and just putting forth some information that everybody can find, edifying. So I guess we gonna be running a gamut. I guess he gonna run to the DNA, you know what I'm saying? And we not even gonna play that game. We gonna stick to the disciplines that speak to what we know and what we can prove and show. But yeah, I'm ready for it. You know, that's what it is, man. And as far as this debate, man, like I said, Jose, man, bro, big thing about a debate, but never pick a topic you gonna lose, bro. And man, unless you pull out something that nobody ever seen, bro, it's consensus, man. So I'm looking forward to it, bro. And again, man, all praise to the Most High in the name of Yahshua. Appreciate it.
No
You know what I'm
doubt.
saying? Living on and all praises.
Salute, Jose.
Right.
You got the last word, my brother.
I appreciate that. Well, in the ancient world, they used to sacrifice goats, right? So this brother might be sacrificed on the altar of truth. For sure. Because that's what we used to do to goats. Right. And then we shared them, and then after we sacrifice it, we shared them among the community. So if I hit him in the left eye and he goes down, we go share him amongst the community to edify the community. That's what I think is gonna happen. Maybe I'm in over my head. Nah. We'll see on the 12th.
He said they used to.
And he also
used to sacrifice goats
and share them amongst the community. That's what they used to do. And he needs to understand, just because you don't see something written down at that particular time, in order for them to have written it down, it would have had to exist before they wrote it down. So don't feel as if because they wrote it down, that's when they started the practice. No. It doesn't work that way. That's not when they started the idea. It was always there. Right. And sometimes when you see things written in a particular dynasty, it might be a copy of something that they know existed before. So don't get it twisted because you're not seeing it. That concept didn't exist. You have to prove that the concept didn't exist. Because when we're talking about this time, this was very early writing. We know that. So a lot of things would have been written down, and that doesn't make it invalid. Because you see it later and they made it up later. No, that's not how this works. The culture existed before writing. So these things go back before writing. Writing just allows them to share their ideas. So DMG, I'm very definitely grateful for the opportunity. I'm going to try and make this a good debate. I'm not going to let you down. I'm not pulling out of this one. I'm going to go through this. Whatever happens, I'm going to go through this one. And I'm going to come out better on the other side. So,
hey, Jose. You could potentially be a champion in your first debate, bro.
We're already champion in my own mind, but that probably don't count over here. But all right, DMG. Thanks again, man.
Hey, listen, family. It's been a long night.
Shout out to Mandingo Mali, man. I much respect as a debater. And I'm not going to take him lightly. Definitely not, because that would be a mistake.
You better not. You better not. That is the mighty Mandinka Mali. Don't take him for a joke.
I definitely need to go evaluate, reevaluate, triple and double check what I'm saying and doing. Definitely. So I definitely give him.
Listen, family. Absolutely. Listen, family. These brothers will be getting it in on July 12th, 3:15 p.m. Central Time. Did any ancient Kemetic dynasties practice retainer sacrifice? It is for the Paradigm Shift TV 314 title. Listen, Worldview Wars Debate League ain't going nowhere. This Sunday, Big Hemi will be defending the social media title against Ramo Bantu Esoteric. The proposition is, did God inherit the dark according to Genesis? We also got our brother Easy Bands on July 18th, taking on our brother Nathaniel Hughes. The question is there an Islamic dilemma? Now, understand, this is Christian on Muslim intellectual violence. So, two powerful brothers gonna be getting it in. Also this Sunday at 7:15 Central Time, we got our brother Gideon taking on the returning Lucifer, the devil. Hey, man, and I got a debate with my brother King J. The question at hand is, was Christianity forced on African-American slaves? We're going to turn around on the 26th of July. It's going to be me against brother Hayru Conscious. The question is, were the people who enslaved African-Americans Christians? Two similar debates, two powerful opponents. Y'all pray for your brother DMG. You hear me? Hey, before we get out of here, family, I got to pay some bills. Keep y'all tuned in. Y'all keep rocking with us, man. It's Paradigm Shift TV 314, home of the Worldview Wars Debate League. Shout out to Steve Calabro, the Kim and Infomonger say he ain't running from nobody. And Steve, I'm gonna have some news for you, brother, because you may just end up being crowned Worldview Wars Debate League champion. I don't know, man. I don't know. Gideon and Joshua might have something to say about that, though. I'm thinking about some things. We're gonna talk. That being said, family, let me pay some bills, and we're gonna get y'all out of here.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
You are watching Paradigm Shift TV. Paradigm Shift! TV 314! We ain't just with content. We moving culture.
The shift don't stop.
Let's go.
The shift don't stop. We keep the truth unlocked. Building every day, we ain't watching no clock. Knowledge over noise, let the whole world watch.
Paradigm Shift TV.
The shift don't stop.
The shift don't stop, yeah, we raising the bar, turning every microphone into a shooting star. From the city to the globe, know exactly who we are. Paradigm Shift TV.
We taking it far.
Welcome to the movement where the facts get tested. Weak arguments fall when the pressure gets invested. Every conversation sharpen minds like a weapon, building independent thinkers every single lesson. The infamous perspective, speaking from the soul. Question every narrative, never lose control. The GT project, digging even deeper. planting seeds of wisdom that'll wake the sleepers.
Step into the light, let the truth illuminate.
No fear in the darkness when the facts demonstrate.
The black church files, history reclaims.
Separating faith from traditions that were framed.
The shift don't stop, we keep the truth on lock. Building every day.
Yeah. Funny how everybody loved to debate till the judges say they lost. Funny how everybody claim they want smoke till the scorecards come across.
My name is my name.
Everybody gangster when the verdict go their way. Taking victory laps, posting on social media all day. But let them catch an L, now the judges all corrupt. Now the rules wasn't fair, now the platform messed up. When you won, it was justice. When you lost, it was rigged. When the spotlight was on you, man, you danced a little jig.
Funny how the narrative changes overnight. You a scholar on Monday, by Tuesday ready to fight.
Y'all don't want accountability, you want applause. Want championship treatment without championship flaws. See, debate ain't about feelings, it's about evidence, argument, and skill. Sometimes you climb the mountain,
sometimes you fall down the hill. You want it to be one way,
but it's the other way.
But it's the way. When you lose, it's another day. You want it to be one way,
but it's the other way.
The sex you praised last month ain't fair today. You want it to be one way,
but it's the other way.
The facts don't bend for feelings, no matter what you say. My name, my name.
The hate got me laughing. It really tell the story. If the platform wasn't working, why they obsessed with my glory? Every week somebody.
I told you I wasn't stepping to. I ain't disrespecting you, son. You wanted to be one way. What? You wanted to be one way. But it's the other way.
Yeah. Funny how everybody loved to debate till the judges say they lost. Funny how everybody claim they want smoke till the scorecards come across.
My name is my name.
Everybody gangster when the verdict go their way. Taking victory laps, posting on social media all day. But let them catch an L, now the judges all corrupt. Now the rules wasn't fair, now the platform messed up. When you won, it was justice. When you lost, it was rigged. When the spotlight was on you, man, you danced a little jig.
Funny how the narrative changes overnight. You a scholar on Monday, by Tuesday ready to fight.
Y'all don't want accountability, you want applause. Want championship treatment without championship flaws. See, debate ain't about feelings, it's about evidence, argument, and skill. Sometimes you climb the mountain,
sometimes you fall down the hill. You want it to be one way,
but it's the other way.
But it's the other way.
When you win, it's all love.
When you lose, it's another day. You want it to be one way,
but it's the other way.
The same judges you praised last month ain't fair today. my name.
The hate got me laughing. It really tell the story. If the platform wasn't working, why they obsessed with my glory? Every week somebody got an opinion to proclaim, but they still tune in faithfully. That's free promotion of the name. Paradigm shift, TV 314 still standing, while critics in the comments keep demanding and demanding. See the infamous perspective, giving viewpoints room to breathe. The black church files digging deeper than was seen. The Kim take over, bringing culture to the floor. The GT perspective, asking questions they ignore. Here you get many choices. Ladies' night, giving divas voices. Different minds, different paths, different truth. Reaching the elders and the youth. But it's the other way.
You said the platform needed you, but somehow you still stayed.
Yeah.
You wanted to be one way,
but it's the other way.
The show keeps moving forward even after people stray. You wanted to be one way,
but it's the other way.
The audience decides, not the stories that you made. My name is my name.
I've seen debaters come and go. Some legends, some pretenders. Some became champions, some became contenders. Some accepted losses and came back even stronger. Others spent 6 months complaining and being bitter even longer. Everybody wanna run a platform. Everybody got advice, but very few know the sacrifice, are willing to pay the price. Fight facts, challenge views, give the people real discussion. Not excuses when you lose, or whether they applaud or whether they complain. One thing remains forever.
My name is my name.
But it's the other way.